I'm the abbot of Upaya Zen Center in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Upaya is a Buddhist center. Our tradition is Zen, but we're also a center that is deeply devoted to socially engaged Buddhism, a Buddhism that is focused on service and also on social transformation. And we are certainly in a time of social transformation right now. This pandemic has brought into focus many issues, including the fact that our center has been sheltering together since March 9th. And there are 24 of us here, students, residents, and teachers who have been in the practice of this place, but also involved in cooking for the homeless, supporting our online chaplaincy training, and supporting now a very big online spring practice period, honoring women of the way. And we had no idea of what we were doing or how this would happen because we have always been an on-site place, a kind of holy place that people from all over the world travel to in order to bring their practice into focus and to also prioritize what is important for them in their lives and how to actualize goodness in the world. But the pandemic has shifted everything for us. We had to close Upaya, hopefully temporarily, to the outside world in the physical sense. And we've been in this container over these many days, practicing, but also providing a platform that is online, that is global, making it possible for people from all over the world to come into the experience of practice, to explore their values, and to also explore Buddhism from a very interesting perspective. The first program that we did online was for our chaplain candidates who actually come from all over the world. And in 24 hours, we had to let them know that they could not come. And we shifted from an on-site program to an online program in 24 hours with our extraordinary faculty and 50 chaplain candidates. And some of those chaplains are working on the front lines of the COVID-19 catastrophe in medical centers in various parts of this country and other parts of the world. So I'm so grateful we had this time together to dive deep into practice, into what it is to bring integrity, to transform moral suffering, and to learn the skills of what it is to come alongside both clinicians and as well family members and dying people at a time where we're facing this extraordinary and unprecedented crisis. Our second online endeavor really came to me. I was in the Zendo sitting Zazen, and then we do liturgy afterwards. And I had this vision of bringing our spring practice period, which is a month-long endeavor, which includes lots of meditation practice and also teachings, to bring it into the online platform. I said, let's try. And so my assistant and good friend Noah Rossiter, Kigaku, and I sat down and we began to develop the curriculum. And this was another 24-hour endeavor, really an incredibly fast phase shift. But what seemed important for me in doing this is that we could bring together some of the leading Buddhist teachers who in this country who have written and spoken to women's issues and really who are deeply involved in the culture of feminist Buddhism, and as well, many of whom have been deep scholars of the role of women in early Buddhism, in Zen in China, and as well Japan and contemporary Buddhist women. So this happened, and 700 people have joined us. It is a long program. It goes from the 2nd of April to the 25th of April with meditation 4 or more times a day, with seminars, with talks by extraordinary women practitioners and others. And it is a real experiment in Buddhism unfolding in an online platform. And then our third endeavor has been focused on something that we feel is very important, and that is the relationship between Buddhism, science, and philosophy. The Varela International Symposium, inspired by the work of the neuroscientist and philosopher Francisco Varela, has been a context for many years where scientists, philosophers, social psychologists, contemplatives, and others come together to look at and explore some of the deep questions that bridge philosophy, science, and contemplation. And this year we're doing it on the theme of awareness, which seems very important in terms of what we're facing today. How we cultivate a quality of awareness that is able to perceive reality deeply and accurately. And we're very fortunate that Richard Davidson, neuroscientist, Al Kazniak, neuroscientist, Kalina Christoff, neuroscientist and social psychologist, Jonathan Schooler, John Donne, philosopher, Jay Garfield, philosopher, and myself, we will come together on the 29th of May, and on the 30th and the 31st, open up a very vivid exploration of the great landscape of awareness. And I hope that Frank Ostaseski, who is the founder of Zen Hospice, and I will do also around this time a short program on being with dying. Clinicians and caregivers who are working in the field of, hospitals, in ERs, in clinics, are facing profound moral dilemmas at this time and experiencing profound moral suffering. And Frank and I are old friends and practitioners, co-practitioners, and I hope that we can bring, again, in the online context, this work forward for people and also bear witness to people as they share their experience of living in the pandemic. All of this is by donation only. We feel that the Dharma must be made freely available, and we also face financial realities in terms of our livelihood. The way we support the center is through our programs. That's our staff, our residents, and the physical aspect of our center. And at this time, we're all in this together, as you hear again and again. Well, we were always in it together, but now we see more vividly how we share a common life, a common destiny. So I'm so grateful that we have the technology that can reach across time and space and make available the wisdom of these great teachings of the women ancestors, of the Buddha, of great scientists and philosophers of our time and contemplatives.